Good day, gentlemen. Thank you for your time and welcome to the Empress Club. This is chapter 6, and the title of it is Read. Excuse me. To me, this is dear to me because this is something I believe in wholeheartedly. Now, I have an interesting story to tell about this. High school, while in high school, I think I was approached to join the Marines. I'm like, no, I'm good on that because I consider the Marines to be knuckle draggers. And I'm saying, no, that's not for me, but thank you. I didn't tell him that, that's what I was thinking. Fast forward, 7 years? I got the shock of my life. I learned that the Marines actually have a university. Guess what the motto of their university is? Leaders are readers. Simple faith, gentlemen. Unbelievable. I had a good laugh. I had a good laugh when I saw that. I was wondering, what's so funny? And I didn't explain because, there were a few Marines around. They may have taken it the wrong way. But I was impressed. The United States Marine Corps has a university. And their motto is, leaders are readers. Gentlemen, right now I could just end this chapter right here and there. That's it. I mean, there's nothing more to be said. Leaders are readers. The Empress Club is about what? Taking young men, making men out of them, making them leaders, agents of change, shapers of destiny. That's it. I'm done. If you don't see no reason to read, then after that, the Empress Club is not for you, and quite frankly, we don't need you. Because if you don't see the value of reading, you don't belong here. You're wasting time. You could save your time better elsewhere, and I don't have time to waste either. So we agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Now, if you hear, it goes without saying that you have to read. There's no if, no answer, but. For me, I'm an avid consumer of history. I love history. And I read something that Confucius said a long time ago, and that stuck with me. A teacher had, I don't know, I can't remember if it was a history teacher. It may have been a history teacher, had to have been. Confucius said, to predict the future, study the past. Ain't that something? I said, if the people who are in the Empress Club don't see the need to read after hearing that, please leave. Do us all a favor. You go, do whatever it is you got to do. Leave people who are serious about business here to do what we got to do. In the Empress Club, we all about reading. I know I hear people say, oh, that's book noise, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, listen, these fools. And they have a platform preaching this nonsense. Right? Confucius said something else, right? That an overturned cart is a warning to those that follow. So why would I go and learn from an experience that someone else already had, and all they have to do is pick up a book, and in 2-3 hours of reading, I have gleaned 40 years of experience from this person. Only stupid people say reading is a waste of time, or book knowledge. Idiots. Here at the Empress Club, I don't tolerate stupid people. No foolishness or stupidity. There's the door. No one's nailing your feet to the ground. Please find yourself over here. If your attitude is book knowledge, reading, books, all that nonsense, have a Coke in the Smart. Now, for you youngins, y'all don't get that reference. That's an Eddie Murphy joke. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not reading, your brain is dying. Your mind is shrinking. In fact, excuse me, if you aren't reading, you aren't developing. You're not growing because nothing new is going into your head. Of course, I didn't say you read everything. Some things you know, like take for example Dianetics. Everyone I saw reading say it's a great book. When I read it, this isn't for me. I put it aside. It's not for me. But I saw everyone reading it. I wanted to see what it was about. It wasn't for me. Put it down. Kept moving. Now, I've had books that changed my life, and that's why I did a book club for the same reading chapter on reading. I need to do a book club and talk about the books that changed my life. And looking back over my life, I don't see what is the fascination with being ignorant. I really don't. That's why I did an initiation process, the worship of ignorance. Man should not worship ignorance. And I remember, I get to it. I was in Harlem, and there was this African guy, or had what is it, like a bookstore set up in the subway, but he had plaques on the wall, and he had 3 plaques. One said, an educated man is equal to 1,000 uneducated men. And for all y'all who like to talk about book knowledge and all that nonsense, there's a reason why you're a slave. And chances are your slave master is someone who reads. The next plaque says, an educated populace makes a strong country. I bought those 2. The third one I wish I had bought, but that was for when I have children, so I didn't buy that. I could always remember that because it applies to me. I'm going to slap the taste of my daughter's mouth if she does the opposite. I'll get to that. There's an Englishman who said that an educated populace beats an educated populace makes a strong country. As a young man, I was always fascinated how little old England, jolly old England, I call all of it England, it was the United Kingdom, so take no offense, please, could rule the world of this little country. That fascinated me. From 1983, yes, for my hard sense, 1983, I'm like, how this little country beaten up, take over the whole world. From 1983 and until 2000 when I saw that quote. An educated populace makes a strong country. One educated man is equal to 1,000 uneducated men. And that's when it dawned me, because there were 2 English gentlemen who wrote it, those poems, those sayings. And I was like, that's how they did it. Right there. So, gentlemen, if you're in this club, or you wish to enter this club and stay in this club, you've got to be reading. I'm sorry. Because no, ignorance is not here. This is not the temple of worship ignorance. Like my teacher said, some people build a temple, a cathedral to ignorance. Not young. Over young, but not young. I love Eric Cartman. That's my main man. Go home. Anyway. The third plaque said, a woman must never marry an ignorant man. And gentlemen, you know, right now the culture is, the men are lashing out at women for good reason. But the thing is, there may be reason for you doing it, but the thing is, if you're ignorant, you can't command her respect. You must command respect. You can't demand respect. I remember my teacher taught me that in 8th grade. You must command respect. Conduct yourself in a manner that commands respect. And you cannot command respect if you're ignorant. And I will not allow my daughter to go with an ignorant man. And I consider it a slap in the face after going up with me that she goes with an ignorant man. Let me tell you something. My niece and nephews were reading Tom Clancy in 1st grade. They were reading Red Rabbit, The Dragon and the Bear, and I think it's No Doubt. One of those. Of course, with help from me. But the point is, they always saw me reading, and then once they wanted to read what I read, because I read to them their books, they wanted to read what I read. That's why I put up my other books and read Tom Clancy. So I'll read along, I'll read, they'll read with me, and let them read by themselves. They can read Tom Clancy in first grade. Well, now you get pull teeth to get them to read, but once we go to the library, they find a book they like, they get it. So I'm not talking to him myself, I'll pass that on. And nothing gave me great joy when one of my nephews told me, I see why you read a lot, because he got a book in literature that was awesome. And he went out, read the whole series. I think it was like 10, 15 books. I said, nah, you understand. You can't watch TV. Once you read, you can't watch TV. Well, that's my experience. So, gentlemen, in the Empress Club, you have to read. Now, I tell you something why I push reading a lot. This is what I experienced, but not knowing there was a science behind it. Reading increases your power of concentration, increases your ability to focus, excuse me, and it gives you a long attention span. And right now, in 2018, young men and women, children on the whole, even though this is for young men, children on the whole, need to be reading. Because these technological advanced devices, all they're doing is destroying the human being's ability to have their attention span, to have a long attention span. Look, people's phones going off all the time. Ding, 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 ding. How can your mind focus? How can you accomplish anything if you're always being distracted? And Pastor Mike Murdoch said something that's so valuable. That if your life is a failure, I can point it to broken focus. And that's exactly what's going on with these devices. I saw one cell phone, when it goes off, it only makes a noise, the light blinks. And I'm like, look at this. My mind went on Dr. Mesmer with the loud music and the bright lights for mind control. And then you add the alcohol. Now, look at this. It's being done with the phone. The phone vibrates, it makes a noise, and it has a bright light, pulsing light. People, you're being led down a road that's taking you away from the best that you could be as a human being. And if you want to see what you are capable as a human being, go back in history 300 years, go 300 years and back. And tell me why you can't do that right now. No, I'm being generous. But right now, you have 18-year-olds that cannot read better than third graders in a real country. Now, you mean to tell me you're 18 years old, 12 years in school, and you can't read better than a third grader? Do you understand what that means? My favorite group back in 92, I think. 92, 93 was Arrested Development. I loved that. I didn't know what it meant. And then once the gentleman explained, I was like, whoa, Arrested Development. Gentlemen, if you're not reading, you're not growing. You are going to stay stuck. It's like these 18-year-olds who can only read at third grade level. If you are only reading at the third grade level, that's all that's going in your mind is third grade level thinking. This is how you're going to see the world. This is how you're going to respond to the world. Like an 8-year-old or 9-year-old. This is why reading is so important. Because you unplug from the matrix, you sit. Not only that, the thing I like with reading is how those splotches of ink on a white piece of paper creates a world in your head. That's another skill you learn from reading. And in fact, to me, I feel it makes you more creative. So imaginative. Because when I was young, the complaint was television is destroying the imagination of young people. And I was like, what? So that's my reason why I stopped watching so much of it and continue to read. Even though I always read, I just never watched as much TV as I did before. I used that time to read. Gentlemen, in the Empress Club, you have to read above college. Therefore, your thinking and your reasoning, your outlook is going to be at a higher level. Birthdays don't make you an adult. I'm sorry, I hate to break the news to you and burst your bubble. Birthdays don't make you an adult. Excuse me. In the Empress Club, there's adults and birthdays and thinking. And I'm sorry, you're not welcome here if you're not reading. Because you're not reading, you're not growing. And, I don't know if any of you ever smell water that is stagnant. I knew water that's stagnant stinks because that's what I was told. I smelled water that was stagnant. It is disgusting. And I hope no one ever gets the experience of smelling stagnant water. I think I was passing a mangrove because I was visiting my grandmother on Cat Island. I had to go and visit one of her cousins. The sea came into a mangrove, and there's an area where the water can't escape. It is beyond foul. It is beyond filthy. It is disgusting. It almost made me throw up. It's a good thing I didn't eat. It made me retch. I wasn't expecting that. And I said, oh, this is what stagnant. Oh, the word stagnant doesn't mean anything to me, like in a dictionary. I smell that. When I hear that word, I smell that section of the mangrove. It's beyond disgusting. That is what your mind is like when you don't read. And it is so heartbreaking to see 25-year-olds conducting themselves like third graders. A third grader. You're an adult, a grown man. So do you think this man's going to pass, that gentleman, that clown that walked off the sidewalk into oncoming traffic? What you think he's going to pass on the love of learning to his family, to his children? I mean, if he acknowledges them, do you think they're going to see him read? Now, if you saw me read the normal stories, the Hans Christian Andersen stories to my niece and nephew, I enjoyed that, especially Little Piggy, Little Piggy. I act the fool. So now when they read Little Piggy when they learn it in school, they act the fool too, because now they realize it's not splashes of ink on white paper. There's more to it than that. It's more exciting. So now they've gone from me making it exciting to them finding it exciting. And they're learning. And anyone knows anything about the human brain, you know that when you learn, your brain reconfigures itself. That is why you must read in the Empress Club. So that your brain is complete, always renewing itself, always growing, always developing, and never becomes stagnant. Your development is never arrested. Gentlemen, this is serious business. And I'm sorry to tell you, ignorance don't have no place here. Now, it's about time for me to go. The next thing we're going to be talking about in chapter 7 is judgment. This is very important. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate that. Have a good day, gentlemen. Your humble vassal, Professor J. Mark, out. Goodbye.